straight, so then people could just look one way.
I guess, yeah, I guess. Technical difficulties, y'all. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the following is another. Well, let me rewind a bit. Ladies and gentlemen, the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society, proudly presents to you another terrific episode of 15 Minutes of Fandom. That's right. What we do here is we take the spotlight and we put it on one wrestling fan that we feel stands out from the rest. So with that being said, I'm your host, that ocean crossing, straight up bossing, flight catching, shot glass snatching. Where's he going next? Nobody knows. 4 continents down, 2 more to go. No cap, straight facts, the worldwide star boy, Remy Blue. But it's not about me. You see, we have a special guest tonight. Well, this afternoon over here in Brooklyn, New York. But it's actually already night where she's at. And you know, we at Ringside Society, we love to go international. We love to talk to fans and wrestlers all over the world. So with that being said, our guest tonight or this afternoon is a very talented woman. She's not only a pro wrestling fan, but she's a pro wrestling cosplayer. She has actually done cosplays for wrestlers such as Shawn Michaels. I believe she did one for Rhea Ripley. And more recently, Isla Dawn. Everybody, welcome to the show, UK-based pro wrestling fan and cosplayer, Annie. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Great, great. Just here, just on my day off, just relaxing. Looking forward to doing this episode. We always enjoy talking to new people and whatnot, and thank you very much for doing this. We noticed that you followed us, and we
You're
were like,
welcome. I'm happy to be here.
yeah, we noticed that you followed us, and we were like, we followed you first, and then we're like, because you do some like great cosplays and whatnot. I was like, wow, this fan has a lot of dedication, and then you followed us back. I'm like, okay, awesome, that's cool, and then we were like, there's people that follow us, but then they just follow us, they don't really like stuff, and then we noticed that you were like watching pretty much everything we did, and that's not a bad thing actually. And you were actually liking stuff that we had, so we were like, you know what, let's go ahead and shed the spotlight on her. She's a great fan, a fellow wrestling fan, and we just felt it was right to have you on our show. So
Thank you. I'm very grateful to be here, and I'm glad that you've been able to see my work, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, like I said, I know cosplaying isn't easy. There's a lot that goes into it. I'm not a cosplayer. I'm probably one of the laziest cosplayers you'll ever meet, because if I were to cosplay as somebody, I'd probably find somebody that wears like a t-shirt and jeans. Like I'd probably cosplay as John Moxley because he wears just a t-shirt and jeans, or the Brooklyn Brawler. I don't know if you know who that is. That's old school wrestler. I'd probably do something like that. But yours, man, your cosplays are off the top, man.
Thank you. Thank you. It takes a lot of time and effort to do them, but I'm glad that there are people who appreciate it, because it takes I think people don't see that side of it, like all the time and effort that goes into it. But yeah.
Yeah, so I gotta ask you, I always ask, our guests that we have on the show this question. What was the match or the event that made you become a fan of professional wrestling?
So the first match that I really ever properly watched was Triple H versus Ric Flair, Survivor Series 2005. I don't know why, because I was a child at the time. But when I saw Triple H put the screwdriver in Ric Flair's head, I don't know why, I found that so cool. I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be my new obsession.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, Triple H and Ric Flair there too. Man, back in the 2000s, they definitely went at it. That was an awesome match.
Yeah, their feud was very good. I like the Hell in a Cell match they had before that as well.
Yeah. So, did you get to see his farewell match in WWE, the one where him and Shawn Michaels were going at it, and Shawn Michaels was like,
yeah,
sorry, I love you, and he gave him the super kick and he beat Ric Flair?
Yeah. The SummerSlam 2002 match was really good. The unsanctioned match, Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
Oh yes, yes, that was definitely a great match. I
Mhm.
remember it. I remember that match very well. Actually, two best friends now bitter enemies. Um, but it just goes to show you that karma. That was a bit of Sean's karma, though. I don't know if you know. I don't know if you watch stuff like back in the 80s and 90s,
Mhm.
but and a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people noticed this, but 10 years ago, before that match, before the
Mhm.
rivalry between him and Triple H,
Yeah,
um,
that's one thing I liked about that match. Like the years worth of like build up. Like it wasn't just Shawn Michaels versus Triple H. There was like years of build up before that. Like even from
yeah,
like the 80s, 90s. There's so much, and that's what made the match even better.
yeah. And Sean, he turned on his partner Marty Jannetty. I don't know if you ever saw his stuff with Marty, but he actually turned on his partner back in like early 1992,
Mhm.
and then 2002 he's looking to reform his tag team with Triple H, his best friend then, and Triple H is like,
Mhm.
nope, not happening, and he turned on Sean as well. He turned on, so
Mhm.
Sean's karma kind of caught back, kind of
Yeah.
got him back later on.
Mhm. Yeah, Sean got what was coming to him. I know Triple H was a heel in that storyline, but like it was technically karma. It's
Yeah,
kind of like the KO and Cody Rhodes thing. Like I'm kind of on KO's side. I feel like he's got valid points and he is kind of in the right despite being the heel.
yeah, but KO, that's always been KO's true nature. But the thing that got me with KO was that, like, for example, when they had the Hell in a Cell match or
Mhm.
the War Games match like 2 or 3 years ago, um KO was about to hit Roman Reigns with the chair, and
Mhm.
Sami Zayn low blows him, and then KO's getting all in his feelings like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to tag with you. I don't know what to say to you. I'm like, bro, you turned on this man several times before. He
Mhm.
did it back to you. Now you're upset. Like, come on, KO.
Mhm.
Yeah, but are you excited for their match that they're gonna have coming up
Yeah, I feel like that one's going to be
this
really
weekend?
good. Like all the matches that they've had between each other has been good, and like all the long term story with this specific story, I feel like the match is going to be really good. I actually don't know who's going to win this one. Usually, I find WWE quite predictable, but I generally have no idea who's going to win that match.
Honestly, yeah, it's kind of hard to tell because you have both men who are you know they have a lot going behind them in this match.
Yeah. And they're both
Um,
hometown heroes as well, so it's like it can go either way because technically Canada always wins because it's in Toronto, and they're both hometown heroes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The crowd could go either way, but um the thing that a lot of people don't realize was that of all the times um Kevin Owens has turned on Sami Zayn, um the first time he turned was a package pile driver, and that set off a series of matches between them in Ring of Honor.
Mhm.
And I believe the last match they had, which was Ring of Honor. Do you watch Ring of Honor, or just do you watch Ring of Honor at all, or I don't know if you watch
Yeah.
it, but
Mhm.
okay. So I don't know if you saw Final Battle 2012. If you did, then I'm talking about. But there was a ladder match between them. I think it was a tables, ladders, and chairs match in Ring of Honor, and it was Sami Zayn's last match, and Kevin Owens beat him with that package pile driver
Mhm.
through through a ladder. And recently he just did it again. He just turned on Sami Zayn, and this time he used a package pile driver to turn on him.
Mhm.
When he turned on him, so when Sami Zayn said this time when you use that package pile driver it was personal, that was something that's been going on years back. So I got a
Yeah.
feeling that this is going to be a fight unlike any other that they've had. So, growing up, who were some of your favorites that you enjoyed watching
I'm
and
sorry, could
cheering
you
them and
repeat
so
that
on?
question?
So, growing up, who were some of your favorites that you enjoyed watching?
So growing up, I really was like Jeff Hardy and The Undertaker. They're two different characters, but for some reason, I just love those characters so much. Had a really soft spot for Ray as well. Like I generally had this dislike for John Cena when he beat Rey Mysterio straight after he won the WWE Championship. Like me as a child, I was like, no, that's Ray's moment.
Yeah, you're not the only one that hated John Cena back
Mm,
then. Apparently, everybody loves him now. But back in the
yeah,
day, like the 2000s, even the early 2010s, a lot of people were like booing
yeah,
him, like, "Oh, Cena sucks" and whatnot.
yeah.
So yeah,
I feel like
it's
it was a
legendary.
booking as well, just booking him too strong, like for no reason. It just made him dislikable. Like what he didn't need to beat Ray. Like there was no need for that, but yet he still beat Ray for his first championship. Like it made no sense. And like one thing that really bothered me was the once in a lifetime happening the very next year. Like I don't mind them having two matches. I get the story and stuff, but promoting it as once in a lifetime and then doing it the very following year, like obviously fans are going to be upset about that.
Oh, you talking about John Cena and The Rock?
Yeah, John Cena and The Rock.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was but that was pretty sly of them though. Like
Yeah.
they were like they said once in a lifetime and they got to get tickets.
Yeah.
They did to get tickets and now they're doing it again, which is
Mm,
it's pretty sly. I mean, they had nothing to
yeah.
lose doing it the second time. So
Yeah. Like I know a lot of people who are like Attitude Era fans who literally bought a ticket to that show just for that. And like imagine how disappointed they must have been when they found out like it just happened the very next year. Like they didn't even wait like 5, 10 years. They just did it very next year.
yeah, that was funny thing about that card. That was at WrestleMania 29. I wasn't really interested in that card at all. There weren't
Mm,
any matches that really got my
yeah.
interest, and
Mhm,
it was actually over here. It was in New Jersey, which isn't that far from New York.
mhm,
It's like a bus ride. It's like a train ride or a bus ride over the river. And I remembered like there was an indie show, an independent wrestling show called Pro Wrestling Syndicate.
mhm,
And the funny thing is, I thought they had a 2 day show, and I thought that their shows, the two shows that they had, were better than WrestleMania. I was more
mhm.
interested in that.
Yeah.
What was going on at WrestleMania?
Mhm.
I was like, yeah, that was a. It wasn't the worst card, but I didn't really care for WrestleMania
Yeah.
29.
Yeah, I agree. That card just wasn't the best. Like I don't even remember many of the matches on that card because it was just like that forgettable.
I know there was Undertaker versus Mark Henry, and
Mm,
I believe it was the Shield versus Sheamus, and I think Kane and Daniel Bryan, as he was known at
yeah.
the time.
Mhm.
So I don't know too much. I can't remember too much about that card. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah, it was a very forgettable WrestleMania. Just very much throwaway.
yeah. So how do you feel about WrestleMania coming up now? Like, how do you feel about um the fact that we have some guaranteed
Mhm.
matches, but
I'm
everything's
excited
still
about
kind
it.
of
Like
goofy.
the matches that we are guaranteed, I really like those matches. I hope Jey Uso beats Gunther because like the long term storytelling, I feel like Jey Uso needs to win. And I feel like there's lots of stories going on within the women's division as well. Like one of them, like all 6 women, they kind of have a thing with Rhea, and all of them have a reason to face Rhea. So it's all very interesting. And like Tiffany versus Charlotte, I feel like that's going to be quite a good match because people say that Tiffany is like Charlotte, so it's almost like kind of passing the torch. Yeah.
Yeah, those are two matches I'm actually looking forward to.
Mm.
Who's gonna fight? Who do you think is gonna fight Rhea though? Do you think it's gonna be do you think it's gonna be Liv versus Rhea again, or do you think it's gonna be somebody else fighting Rhea?
So initially, I thought it was going to be Liv versus Rhea again because that seems like the story. But now that she's tag team champion, I feel like that's kind of telling you that it's not going to be her. So I'm thinking maybe because Bianca doesn't have a championship and we're not really sure when Jade's going to come back, I think it might be Bianca because like I thought it was Liv, but then I feel like she won't do it whilst champion.
Honestly, personally, I wouldn't mind seeing Liv go against
Mm,
Raquel again, not Raquel, go against
yeah,
Rhea Ripley again and actually win. Because then that would build her up strong, kinda. Because I mean,
yeah,
she's a two-time champion, and
mm,
she's a dual champion.
yeah,
And she has a bodyguard with her, and pretty
mm,
much a whole stable with her. So I would be open to that. But I don't think they're gonna do that again. I mean,
yeah.
if they do, hey, I'd like to see where that goes.
Yeah. And there's
Yeah.
so many ways to like kind of cheat in elimination chamber as well. Like there's been many times in the chamber where someone has interfered or someone has come in when the door open. So there's obviously chances for Raquel to help Liv if needed.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. So I take it you're in London, right?
Yes, I am.
Great city, by the way. I love, this is going to sound weird, but I love
Mhm,
y'all's English breakfast. I was actually there last January. I stayed in South Kensington, and I remembered like somebody was telling me about the English breakfast and whatnot, and I was like, I gotta try find a place that has that.
mhm.
And then when I looked, there was a place called the Muffin Man, and
Yeah.
I'm like, the song
Mhm,
"Do You Know the Muffin Man" actually started playing in my head. I was like, I don't know the Muffin Man, but I'm gonna get to know them tomorrow. And then when I went there the next day, they actually had like the English breakfast there, and I was like, wow, this is delicious. And
mhm.
I love y'all's town, man. Y'all city, y'all are
Thank
just,
you.
I saw the London Eye, which looks great at night. I saw I went across, was it Westminster Bridge? Went
Mhm,
across that. I saw Buckingham Palace. Definitely gonna go back there. I'm trying to go back
mhm,
there again this year, but we'll see.
mhm,
But not to digress. What
mhm.
do you think about Nick Aldis? I mean, I believe Nick Aldis. He's from England, right? How do
Sorry,
you?
can you repeat that?
I mean, yeah. So Nick Aldis, he's from England, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. How do you feel about him being like, you being obviously being from England? How do you feel about him being an authority figure for SmackDown, the SmackDown general manager?
You said how do I feel about The Rock being like the authority figure for SmackDown?
No, Nick Aldis
Oh, Nick
being
Aldis. I
yeah.
like Nick Aldis. I prefer him over Adam Pearce. I feel like Adam Pearce just makes some weird decisions out of nowhere. Like Adam Pearce just is so unstable. I feel like Nick Aldis is more like the strong GM figure. Like he knows what he's doing and he's quite firm with his people. Whereas I feel like Adam Pearce, I know it's his character, but it just seems like he doesn't know how to run the show. He's just always just getting angry and getting annoyed with people and making impulsive decisions that aren't technically right, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Nick Aldis he's a bit more like stern with his
Yeah, yeah, I,
authority.
I agree.
Adam Pierce tries to be, but to me, you got to get Adam Pierce to a certain point,
Mhm,
like until when he starts being like, okay, this is how it's going to happen, this is how it's going to be, and
mhm,
not any other way. So
mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty
I feel
awesome.
like with Adam Pearce, he's trying a bit too hard, and it just comes off really badly because it just seems like he's trying too much.
Yeah. So I gotta ask you, man. So you're in London. I know England.
Mhm,
Y'all have a great wrestling scene over there.
mhm.
Like, have you been to any of the shows there, like Progress, Rev Pro?
So
I,
I've gone to Progress once, and I've gone to Money in the Bank, which was in London in 2023.
okay. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, the
So
fans here are like a whole different vibe. Like I didn't know about like the whole indie scene. So when I went to Progress, I got booed because I was cheering the wrong person. 'Cause I didn't know who you're supposed to be cheering, who you're supposed to be booing. I wasn't very aware. I was just cheering whoever I thought, and then I got booed because I cheered the wrong person.
yeah, y'all got a very great scene over there. Like,
Mhm,
hopefully, if when I go back, I could catch a show over there.
mhm,
But the England scene, the UK wrestling scene is y'all got a lot of talent over there that
mhm,
a lot of people over here don't really know about. And I think when they start like you have a guy called a man like Darius who is
mhm.
apparently
Yeah,
uh
man like DeVries is so good. He's so talented.
yeah, he's one guy that um I've heard WWE is looking to sign.
Mhm,
Rumor, don't quote me on that for those of y'all listening
mhm.
and watching. But I heard that they're interested in him. If he gets signed,
Yeah.
that's gonna be
That would be a
something.
game changer if he signs, especially with how the NXT division is right now. I feel like he would do so well there. Like a lot of talented people in NXT, like see him having a good match with like Trick Williams or Overfemi,
Oh yeah, definitely.
or
So
even like a Wesley. I think Wesley's heel now, but I feel like I could see them having a good match. Wesley is very talented.
oh yeah, definitely, definitely is. So with Money in the Bank, what was your experience like? Like, how did you feel like going? Was that your first WB show, or
Yeah, that was my first ever show.
wow? How was it for you? What was like the experience of
It
being there
it
as a
was good. It
fan
was
in the crowd?
fun. Yeah, I found it a very fun experience, and all the matches were really good. The vibes were really good. Yeah, I was quite surprised when John Cena turned up because I was like, what the hell? Like, because the match card was already stacked as it is. We had so many good people there. I was like, then John Cena turns out out of the blue. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and yeah, hopefully y'all could actually get a WrestleMania there
Mhm.
soon. I don't know if it's going to be possible because
Yeah.
um, WrestleMania I've seen SummerSlam over at
Yeah.
Wembley Stadium.
Mhm.
Y'all had Money in the Bank. Royal Rumble next year is going to be in Saudi Arabia.
Mhm.
We've never really seen a Survivor Series anywhere, probably other than Canada.
Mhm.
But I
Yeah.
think eventually they're going to put that somewhere soon.
Mhm.
But I would definitely be down for y'all to get a WrestleMania. I
Yeah.
hope it happens because one, it's 2 days. Two, it'll be great for the indie scene because WrestleMania, um, it is not just the 2 day event. There's several other things going on, in the area. Like, for example, it's going to be Las Vegas. In Las Vegas, all the indie shows are going to be going
Mhm.
there. Are going to be having shows on that week. So it'll be great for London
Yeah.
for
Mhm.
y'all's independent wrestlers to actually showcase their talents and whatnot. And I
Yeah.
hope y'all get it. And
Mhm.
two, my favorite one is that y'all are 5 hours ahead of us. So if it
Mhm.
starts at 8,
Yeah.
it's going to start at 3 o'clock.
Mhm.
So I think WrestleMania would normally be like roughly with 3 or 4
Yeah.
hours. So it'll be done by like what? Which will be 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock midnight y'all's time. But
Mhm.
it'll be 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock our time. It'll be done. So that
Yeah.
means you still got time to
Yeah, it's crazy
um,
how different the times are
do
because
that.
like you have all the pay-per-views at like 7 p.m. and then you get to go to bed. Well, we have to stay up till like 6, like
Oh,
3, 4
geez.
a.m. to watch a pay-per-view. So I guess when if a WrestleMania happens here, it'll be like so different for your time as well because I think it'll be either late at night or really early in the morning.
Yeah. So how does that work out for y'all? Because I don't know how y'all do. Like, I know normal. Like, how does it work out for you? Like because I know that they start normally at 6, 7 o'clock. How does it work
Mhm.
out? Do you have to stay up, or do you just like are you like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to bed and just watch it tomorrow. Just stay away from social media and
Yeah.
try not to hear any of the results. Like
For
how
me,
do you
it
cope with
just
that?
like depends on the card. Like sometimes I do feel like just fuck it, I'm just gonna watch it tomorrow because like it is very late to stay up. Like usually I take a nap before, or if I'm really into it, because like, usually if it's like the big four, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, then you usually would. I think Money in the Bank should be at one of the big five, but it isn't. But yes, sometimes I just like fuck it, I'm just going to sleep because it's a struggle, especially when you have work the next day and it's like you're running on 2 hours sleep. It's crazy, but I guess it just is what it is as a UK wrestling fan.
Yeah, actually, I think Money in the Bank is one of the big five now. They recently made it one of the big five. It's been the most consistent one over the years. So I think it is one of the big five now, and I just might try to actually catch the. I might try to catch that one as well this year.
Mhm.
I don't know. Part of me wants to try to catch all the big
Yeah.
five, like Royal. I've
Mhm.
already did Royal Rumble for the first time out. If I did Royal
Mhm.
Rumble.
You definitely should. Like Money in the Bank is one of those fun pay-per-views as well, because of the ladders. No matter where you sit, everywhere's a good seat. Because like as someone who's very short, I find it hard to see. But like with the Money in the Bank, it was easy because it wasn't top of the ladders.
Oh yeah, maybe I'll do it. I gotta see.
Yeah.
WrestleMania is still
Money in
kind
the Bank
of.
is and like Royal Rumble as well. If you're ever doing Royal Rumble, stay on the ramp side because they're going to do their entrances from there.
Oh, I did it. I did the Royal Rumble. I was in
Mhm.
Indianapolis this year.
Yeah. Oh, how was
Last
that?
month actually. It was great. It was great. I was actually me and another guy. We were actually recording the entrances
Mhm.
of most of the people that were in
Yeah.
that were joining the Royal
Mhm.
Rumble, and it was a fun event. Very fun event.
Mhm. How
So,
did how did people in the arena feel about Jay winning? 'Cause I know he wasn't obviously predicted, so
oh,
how was like the
yep,
arena like with that?
they were okay with it. They were good with
Mhm.
it. I was
Mhm.
shocked. I was like, what?
Yeah.
He outlasted John Cena. That's cool, man. That's awesome. I'm down with it.
Mhm. Yeah, I think he definitely deserved it. Although it wasn't like who we thought it was going to win, I think he definitely
Right.
deserves it. And this WrestleMania moment, he definitely deserves to win. Like
And you
he's
know what?
so over. Like his entrances and stuff. Like I remember watching a recent episode of Raw, and like he was doing a yeet, and then like the fans were asking for an encore, so he literally was just yeeting with the whole crowd for like 10 minutes straight.
So with Jey Uso,
Yeah,
when I landed in Indianapolis, I saw a couple and their child, a man and his wife and a child, and I was like, I went up to them. I'm like, "So you're here for the Royal Rumble? Who do you want to win?" He's like, "He thinks CM Punk is gonna win." And I'm like, "I think it's gonna be John Cena." And
yeah,
then I think his son wanted John Cena to win,
mhm,
and his wife was over there, and I was like, "I already know who you want to win." And she and her husband was like, "Yeet," and I'm like, "Yeah, man, we already know." So a lot of people that I talked to in Indianapolis, they were thinking it
mhm,
was going to be the John
yeah,
Cena or CM Punk, and
mhm,
then Jey Uso was like the surprise
yeah.
winner, and a lot of people were cool with it. I did. A lot of people were cool with it.
Mhm. I
Yeah,
definitely like how they're capitalizing on the Jey Uso hype because I feel like with LA Knight they did it a bit too late to the point where people were kind of over it. I feel like with LA Knight they just did it too late. So I'm glad that they're doing it with Jey Uso at the right time. Just like because people are over like with Jey Uso right now, so it's really good that they're doing it at the right time.
yeah, definitely. I think LA Knight still has some momentum. So
Mhm.
I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, like LA Knight, I think he won the championship and SummerSlam last year, but I feel like people just didn't care because they were just over him at that point.
Yeah,
It's
I,
like
I
you should have given it to him the year before because people were just over it.
I think, yeah, you know what? That kind of made sense. But then again, Damian Priest
Mm,
isn't too bad either because
yeah,
I mean he's getting there,
mm,
and he's not too bad. He's
yeah,
seen worse champions than Damian
mm,
Priest. Damian Priest is
yeah.
not that bad.
Like when I was in Money in the Bank last year, everyone was literally like every single person you spoke to would be like LA Knight's winning, LA Knight was winning. So they were kind of disappointed when Damien Priest won. But I feel like it made sense for the storyline for Damien Priest to win.
Yeah.
But
So I
yeah,
got
everyone thought that it was LA Knight. I feel like they could have made it LA Knight. Like that could have worked. They should have capitalized on that early, but they didn't.
Yeah. So I got to ask you: did you when you were at Money in the Bank, or even though when you went to any of the like when you went to Progress, um, did you get to have you ever gotten to meet any of the wrestlers, or were you?
So I met Tate Mayfair. He is so talented. Like he's such a good heel. He definitely deserves all his flowers. I feel like people don't give him enough credit, but Tate Mayfair is such an amazing heel. I met him and he's so lovely. He's so sweet. And I met Mark Haskins, which was the one I was cheering,
Okay.
who I was supposed to boo because he was against Kid Lyko. So I was cheering for Mark Haskins instead of Kid Lyko, and that's why I got booed.
Okay. Wow. Anybody from WWE or not yet?
Sorry, what was the question?
Have you met anybody from WWE or not yet?
I have met a couple people from WWE. There's so many. I met EO, Pete Dunne, met Jey Uso. Jey Uso is so lovely. He's so funny. Met Piper Niven, met Ricochet, met Adam Cole, if that counts as WWE or AEW, but kind of both. Who else have I met? I met LA Knight. LA Knight's really sweet.
Oh,
Met Pretty Deadly. Yeah, I think that's all. There is so many because I always do the 360 experience where you get to meet three wrestlers, but
oh,
you
that's
don't know
cool.
who it's going to be. So it's kind of a
Mm.
gamble, but I seem to always get the good ones.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remembered. Actually, 2 days ago, I was at the airport, LaGuardia, and I was getting something to eat, and then I remembered I was walking past this guy at a water fountain, and I'm like, "Hold up, is that who I think it is?"
Mhm,
And that I didn't want to make it seem so obvious,
mhm,
but wrestling fans, we,
mhm,
we all get a bad rep. I'm not one of them. I'm very respectful, and I know what it is to want to have some time to yourself. But I saw this guy and found out. I'm like, I'm like, excuse me, sir, are you Chad Gable? He's like, yeah. I'm like, hey, I'm not trying to be a wrestling. I'm not trying to be a
mhm,
crazy wrestling fan, but
mhm,
hey, man, thank you for all the
mhm,
all that you've done for us. And I
mhm.
gave him he gave me a fist bump,
Yeah.
and I just went on my merry way. That's it,
Mhm.
But
It's good that you were respectful because I know a lot of
yeah.
people aren't respectful of like wrestlers' boundaries. Like I know Rhea Ripley posted something recently about like don't send fan mail to the house because it's just weird. I find it so weird like when they're just disturbing
Right.
wrestlers. Like I've had times as well where I've met them and I wasn't sure if I should, like, in the first All In, I saw Darby Allin, but he was on his phone, so I was like, yeah, that's a sign, do not disturb him. But people were still going out their way to disturb him. And with CM Punk as well, he was in Nando's just eating, and people were literally forcing themselves in and trying to get a table near him to try and get a picture with him. It's like, he's a human, like, respect his boundary. I get he's famous, etc., but respect his boundary. He's still a human.
Yeah, yeah. I've met several wrestlers where I've like Big Show was another one. I met him at the airport,
Mhm.
and I went up to him, said the same thing I said to Chad Gable, gave him a fist bump, or I shook his hand, and I went about my merry way. I saw Tommaso Ciampa and Tyler Breeze backstage at a Shine show. Shine is an independent women's independent pro wrestling show, which I'd recommend you check out. They're pretty good. And I went there. I went to that show, and I saw Tommaso Ciampa and Tyler Breeze backstage, and well, the way where I was sitting, like I was kind of close to where the wrestlers were backstage, but I didn't go backstage. Like I said, it's not my place. But I went there. I saw Tommaso and I saw Tyler. I was like, "Hey guys, thank you for all the great work that you're doing." I shook Tommaso's hand. Tyler Breeze was kind of like far away, and I wasn't gonna go over there because, like I said, that's all out of bounds for me. And I just went back to my seat, and that was it.
Mhm.
And yeah, I was in the U.S. Navy for like 7 years active duty, so you know I know what it is to like when you get off work,
Yeah.
you don't want to like, especially if you work with people, you deal with so many energies, so many personalities.
Mhm.
So when they say Liberty call, that means you're
Yeah.
done for the day, you're good to go home, be with your family, loved ones, or if you don't have that, just go home and enjoy the rest of your day. And I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to talk to another soul. I just
Mhm.
want to go home and unwind, watch some TV, play some video games, eat some
Mhm.
food. This is my time. So I
Yeah.
take that into
Mhm.
consideration with them too.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I just find it weird, like how people even find out where these people are staying and stuff. Like, they're humans at the end of the day. Like, respect their boundaries.
what gets me is how they find out what hotels they stay at, and also um when their flights come in, because
Yeah.
that's I find that baffling. Like
Yeah.
I can understand, like if you like, for example, I was at LaGuardia, I was
Mhm.
there to get lunch. I was about to get on a flight, about to go do a flight, about to go get on a flight, and I just happened to see him there. And the same thing with the Big Show, but I was actually there for a flight.
Mhm.
You know, I wasn't there just to like, oh, they're showing up at this airport. I'm gonna try to meet them at the airport and get them to sign stuff. Like I find that like quite baffling and scary that
Yeah.
they find all this information. I'm like, how, man? Like,
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, and these people have assigned meet and greets as well. Like, I get in the UK, like we don't see them as much as say someone in the States, but they still have these assigned meet and greets where you can see them, and they're
yeah,
usually free as well. Like, they usually do not cost money. So it's like, why would you go out of your way to but actually, like, it's technically harassment. Like,
yeah,
it's always just been baffling to me.
yeah. And a lot of them still don't seem to realize that if you, and like I said, I'm not here to boast. I'm not trying to boast or anything. If you act cool, a lot more will work out for you. I remembered one time I had a that same show, Shine. I was finishing up my tour in Japan with the
Mhm.
US Navy, and La Rosa Negra, if you've never heard of her, she's a great wrestler from Puerto Rico. Um she's phenomenal. And I remember
Mhm.
she and I go way back, like since
Mhm.
2012 when I first met her. And I remember she contacted me and asked me if I was going to the Shine show in Queens, New York, which is not that far
Mhm.
from here, from where I'm at. So I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'll be back in the country by then. I'll check it out. And then and afterwards, maybe we can go grab some lunch, catch up on old times. So I went to the show, met her, and you know, went there, cheered, just cheered on the fan favorites, booed the heels and whatnot. And after the show, I met her outside after the show,
Mhm.
and she said she was gonna go and have dinner with
Mhm.
some of her friends. Who were her friends? The Hex, Marty Bell and Allison
Mhm.
Kay, who were also wrestlers.
Yeah.
And she and I she asked me if I wanted to join. She
Mhm.
offered she asked me if I wanted to join them for dinner, and I was like, in my mind, I was like, wow, I'm just a mere fan, and I'm amongst
Mhm.
these wrestlers, and they want me to have dinner with them. I'm like, this is cool. And I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm down to have some dinner. And they took us, her friends, Allison and Marty. They took a different Uber, and we took a different. They took one Uber, and we took another Uber. And I told Rosa, I was like, look, I understand you just got done with a wrestling show.
Mhm.
If you don't want to talk about wrestling, we could talk about other things. Because I have other activities. I'm into comics. I'm into photography. I'm into music. I told her we could talk. I'm
Mhm.
into travel. Always traveling. So I told her, yeah, we could talk about anything else other than wrestling if you want. She's like, no, that's fine. We could talk
Mhm.
about wrestling. I'm like, okay, cool. Note well, rest for those of you watching. Note well, it does not hurt to have another hobby. But
Yes, I agree to that. I agree.
yeah, for those of y'all listening, it does not hurt to have another
Yeah.
hobby if you're a wrestling fan. Still be a wrestling fan, but have other
Mhm.
hobbies. It'll work out
Yeah.
in the end, trust me. But yeah, and we all had dinner. We all took some pictures. I didn't even ask for pictures. They just took a group picture and asked me to be in it. And we were just chilling. I met Marty Bell's brother and some of our other family members because she's from Queens. And we were talking about Japan and anime and so on. And it was a great time. And I mean, it's instances like that. That was just me being chill, being cool, not being pushy, just being respectful. And like I'm not trying to boast.
Yeah.
That wasn't
Mhm.
it wasn't my goal to have dinner with them. It just happened that way. So that was just that's something a lot of wrestling fans should learn. Like just
Mhm.
be chill, man. Some of them do get it, and some of them actually do get it, but there's a lot of them that just don't, and
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely
it's
agree.
just crazy. Yeah. So, you're also not only are you a wrestling fan, you're not just a wrestling fan, you're also a cosplayer, and you're a
Mhm.
brilliant one as well because you've done cosplays for Shawn Michaels.
Mhm.
You did your recent one for Isla Dawn.
Mhm.
Um, like how did you like what got you into that?
So, I'm quite short, so I've always known how to make clothes. 'Cause I've always had to make my own clothes because unfortunately in this country there isn't really any clothes that fit me. So I've always
Okay.
known how to make clothes, and I've always been like wanted to do cosplay, but I've never had the confidence to do so because in the cosplay world, like there isn't usually people who look like me. Like it's usually the people who don't look like me, and it's like and then I was just like, maybe I need to be that representation for other people. And so it's just something I like and something I enjoy doing. So it's like I love to like share my work and show my skills on what I'm able to do.
That's awesome. I'm not gonna ask you what your height is, but I
Mhm.
can guarantee you if you were to be over here in New York for Comic Con, any of the Comic Cons, I guarantee you that height thing, nobody would really care. They'd be like,
Mhm.
wow, that's your cosplay? Like me
Mhm.
personally, like I'm a photographer. Like if I saw your cosplay, I'm like, yo, can I get a picture of you? And
Mhm.
I would just be like snapping away and whatnot.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
but I just gotta say, man, your cosplays are phenomenal. Keep on doing what you're doing. Don't let nobody tell you differently. If somebody's going to give you a compliment, fine, cool, whatever, positivity. But don't let no negative Nancy's
Mhm.
get in your way, because I always tell people a lot of
Mhm.
times when people say something negative about you, is because they're showing you their own
Mhm.
limitations. The Rock said
Mhm.
that actually.
Thank
So
you, and I definitely agree. I'm quite a sensitive person, and like these comments used to get to me, but then I realized it's just a projection of their insecurity and their worries, and it's like it has nothing to do with me myself.
I've had people be negative to
Mhm.
me. Like I remember when I started a singing group, and I had one guy that was saying stuff about about our singing, and
Mhm.
this was back in high school, and this was before our first performance. I was like, okay, all right, still kept going on. By the end of the night, everybody was talking about how great we sounded. I've had one guy tell me that my podcast is a
Mhm.
podcast no one listens to, and I'm like, okay, you keep thinking that, and then I've had people come up to me and tell me after this guy told me that it's like your podcast inspired me to start my own. Like I enjoy y'all's work. I've had wrestlers contact us, and we've had wrestlers contact us and say, "Hey, we want to be on your show. We want to be on there to tell our stories, to
Mhm.
promote our shows." We've had
Mhm.
fans. Actually, there's a guy from London. Um, that said all the way from Jolly Old London, all the way across the pond, that wants to actually be on our show. And I'm like, okay, we'll definitely make time for you. We just got to get our schedules cleared. So, keep on. I mean, I can't offer you much advice on the cosplaying, but just keep on doing what you're doing. You're
Thank you.
great. Young lady, please do not stop
Mhm.
because we're looking forward to seeing what you got planned next. So,
Mhm.
so who have you cosplayed as so far? I know we did Shawn Michaels. Have you done Rhea Ripley yet? You probably did Rhea
No,
Ripley
I
already, right?
haven't.
Oh wow, okay, wow.
I've
That's
done
sweet.
6 cosplays so far. I only started last year, so I've done
Okay,
Nikki Bella. I'm doing another Nikki Bella. I'm not sure if you can see the costume in the background, but I'm doing
okay.
another Nikki Bella one soon. I've done Cody Rhodes. I've done Tony Storm, which I wore to All In, and I wore to the Cardiff show that they did. And I've done Shawn Michaels, and I've done Nina Samuels, and then recently I've done Idol. I've got so many in the works as well.
Okay. I can imagine Shawn Michaels saw your
Mhm.
cosplay. He's like, Hunter,
Yeah.
it's me. She's me. And then Triple H would be like, Sean, calm down. It's just a cosplayer that's
Mhm.
cosplaying you. No need to get all like worried. She's not gonna hurt you.
Mhm.
I can imagine him. I can imagine them saying something like that.
Yeah.
So have any of the wrestlers ever like that you cosplayed ever like seen your work and commented or liked or
I haven't
is that gonna
yeah.
happen?
I
Sorry.
haven't
Go ahead.
entered any cosplay competitions yet, but like every time I post in a cosplay, that wrestler likes it. So I guess that is recognizing it and noticing it. So every single cosplay I've done, the wrestler who I've cosplayed has liked it.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's great. See, that's the reason why you can't stop now. You got to keep
E-
on going, man.
Exactly, because they appreciate the time and effort and the work that takes to do that kind of thing. And I'm sure if they saw it in person, they would act the exact same way.
I just had a funny thought now. You
Mhm.
cosplay as The Rock. You somehow pull off his final boss
Mhm.
cosplay, and then somebody goes off and says, "You're cosplaying as The Rock, man. Your cosplay is not good." And then you go up to them and you're like, "Is that what you think?" And then the fan is like, that when they're about to say it,
Mhm.
then you be like, "It doesn't matter what you think," and then you show them like The
Mhm.
Rock
Oh
liking
my
your
gosh, that would
cosplay.
be so good. I'd love to like go to like a wrestling convention or something. Like, I know they do For the Love of Wrestling here, but the lineup wasn't the best this year. So I do intend to go to that. I know there's loads of cosplayers. I would love to make friends with other wrestling cosplayers. I do follow a few. Love to like get together and stuff. What there's a Discord chat as well for the UK wrestling cosplayers, which I'm a
Yeah,
part of. So hopefully, if there's any events, I'll probably turn up just for the sake of just hanging out with these people.
if you know any UK cosplayers, tell them ringside society's here, and we'd like to hear from them. We're definitely open to talking to fans, man. Like we've had like a few people from England that have actually been on
Mhm.
here. But we're definitely open to talking to more from over there as
Yeah.
well.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, I commend you for that, man. I know cosplaying
Mhm.
is not easy. So what has been like the hardest cosplay you've done? That one cosplay you thought would not turn out great, but it actually did.
So with like the Isle of Dawn one, I did attempt a different gear at first, and like I was posting the progress on my story and stuff, but just didn't go right. So I was just trying to hand make the bodysuit myself, and I wasn't getting the measurements right, and it basically ended up failing. But then I did a different gear, and because that one's on my page, and it turned out great. So
Wow, that's awesome. I think you did great. I thought it was great. It was great what you did.
thank you.
And yeah, man. Like I said, I know it's not easy. I don't think I could. I don't think I could do it. But you definitely do have some talent. And
Yeah, thank you.
if you went to For the Love of Wrestling, I think it was the last event. I don't know if you saw, but there's a woman that looks like China.
Mhm.
Um, I know her as Sarah Page now, but
Mhm.
she's the woman that they say looks exact.
Yeah.
And she looks like China. We've actually had her on our show,
Mhm.
and I'm like, wow. One day I gotta meet her
Mhm.
and just to get that picture,
Yeah. Mhm.
But she's just so phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cosplaying as wrestlers. Have you ever thought about getting into the business yourself, or are you like, nah, I'll just be a fan?
I'm I kind of just do it for my own personal desires and stuff. I wouldn't ever sell my cosplays because there is a lot of legal issues with that. I like dealing
Oh
with
no, no, no.
customers.
I'm not talking about selling it. I'm talking like just
Mm.
actually getting in as a wrestler or a manager.
I
Uh,
feel like I could. But I'm not sure like with the company if because there's no one who looks like me in the industry. So I feel like it's gonna be a hard breakthrough as well. Because even with even with like black women, I feel like they're only just breaking through now. So it's like there needs to be a starting point somewhere.
okay, and if you don't mind me asking, what's your ethnic background?
Mm.
If you don't mind me
I'm
asking,
Bengali, I'm Bangladeshi.
that's all the more reason for you to get in, because right, because
Yeah.
guess what? You could be the first. You could be the first, and the first of many to come. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
the first
Yeah, that's
Bengali
what my friends always tell me.
wrestler.
They're like, never let your ethnicity let you bring you down. You can be the first.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they actually had a lady from India, Kavita Dev. I know it's India's a different country, but they had a
Mhm,
lady. I think her name was Kavita Dev, and she was actually signed to WWE. You
mhm,
had Tiger Ali Singh.
mhm,
I think he's Canadian, but of Indian descent.
mhm,
Um, and he was signed to there. And you had
mhm.
well, you know Jinder Mahal, who
Yeah,
was
and the Great Khali as well.
yeah,
Yeah, and there
former
has
world
been
champion.
some Indian women as well. That I know Ginny was there in NXT UK for a little bit, but then obviously that
Yeah,
exploded. There was another one called Kavita Devi. She was
yeah,
there for a bit, but I don't know what happened to her. I don't even know if she's signed anymore. But
yeah. So I mean,
mm,
that's all the more reason for you to go in, man. Trust me.
mm,
Trust me. You never. The
yeah,
industry is, to me, like being a fan for over
mhm,
going on 35 years now.
mhm,
The industry has changed. It's changed a lot,
yeah,
tremendously.
mhm,
So if you're, oh, you're the first person that, like for example, um, for example, Stephanie Vaquer,
mhm,
she was the only Chilean, the second the only she's the
mhm,
only Chilean wrestler in NXT. Now she's the NXT Women's North American champion. So
mhm.
being different can always work out for you.
Yeah, I feel like it's a unique selling point at a point as well, because like it's something unique about you.
Yeah. And plus, you could bring your culture to the rest of the world, the
Mhm.
Bengali
Yeah,
culture to the rest of the world. So now you got now you do that. You got people thinking,
mhm.
oh
And I
snap,
feel like it can
Bangladesh.
also help the company as well. Like with Jinder Mahal, they used that as a way to make shows in India, which in India they never really ever got shows, but because Jinder Mahal was champion, they were using that to market it in India, which was really good because that was largely progression from them getting like no shows ever.
Oh yeah. By the way, I don't know if you watch Bollywood, but I love that industry, man. If you haven't seen
Mhm,
any of the movies, man, Shah Rukh Khan was one of the. Uh,
mhm,
that's another story for another time.
yeah,
Well,
mhm,
definitely one of my favorite actors, though. But
mhm,
yeah, like I said, man, just keep on following your dreams, keep on doing what you're
yeah.
doing.
Thank you.
You're doing phenomenal.
Mhm.
And once again, I wish you nothing but the best. Looking forward to your next. You can't stop now because I'm looking forward to your next cosplay. I'm gonna be checking. I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
what Annie got cooking next? What's going on with the next cosplay? Who's she gonna
So
be?
my next
So
cosplay is actually here. It's the Nikki
okay,
Bella cosplay. It's nearly done. All I've got to do is do the hot pants, but the top, the hat is already done. And I've got a Divas Championship here because Nikki Bella is the longest reigning Divas champion. So I just found it very, very fitting.
wow, that's cool, man. That's cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes, and
Mhm.
just keep on keeping on, man. Just keep on, keep on with your goals. I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank
I
you.
hope you get to meet all the wrestlers that you've
Mhm.
cosplayed as, and just sending positive and great vibes your way. Before we shut this show down, where can fans find you on social media? Well, so first off, once again, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule
You're
to
welcome.
be on our show. We really and truly appreciate it.
Mhm.
Hopefully, we can have you back again for one of our
Mhm.
topics
I'll be
show,
happy to come back anytime.
or one of our
Yeah.
or sometimes we do predictions shows. So
Mhm.
if we have you on, best believe we will accommodate your time zone,
Mhm.
and have you on as well. But
Mhm.
before we shut this show down, where can fans find you on social media? when they want
So
to
I'm
check out
currently
your cosplays?
only on Instagram. So my Instagram name is It's Annie X. I've got an X account, but I don't really use it, which is It's Annie. But I don't really use that. So the place you can best find me is on my Instagram, and that's where you'll see all the cosplay. And on my story, you'll see like the work in progress and stuff.
Awesome. So for those y'all that just heard, make sure you follow her on make sure you follow Addie on Instagram and check out her work. It's great work. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. And leave some positive comments, man. We want to see her do more. So like her stuff, leave some comments, leave some positive comments. Don't y'all don't believe in no negative creepy stuff. I know some of y'all dudes out there, females too, but most of y'all dudes, y'all be leaving some out of the way comments. Be easy with that. But leave some positive comments because we want to see her keep on doing this. So make sure you give her a follow. And also congratulations on being a WWE affiliate. Um, congrats on that too as well. Um, before we and once again, thank you. And with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. It looks great outside right now, and my stomach is wrong. That means it's time for lunch and to check out what's going on outside. But before we shut it down, if you want to follow me on social media, not that I see a lot of cool things, but I do go to a lot of cool places. Y'all could definitely follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the Remy Blue. You can also find me on Facebook under the alias Remy Blue, and I'm also on Blue Sky at remyblue.bsky.social. Our podcast is also on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Ringside Society, Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're on Blue Sky at ringsidesociety.bsky.social. And we're also on Facebook as a Facebook group. And we're also on Spotify and Teespring. And Teespring is where we sell our official Ringside Society merchandise. We have t-shirts, we have hoodies, we have even have coffee mugs. As a matter of fact, we just launched our Big Easy Living merch. That's right, Big Easy. Shout out to all our people in New Orleans. That's our New Orleans inspired merch line as well. So we just launched that. So if you're from New Orleans and you love wrestling and you love listening to us and watching us, definitely go ahead and get that merch. And last but not least, we have a YouTube channel where you can see cool interviews like this one, like the one we recently had with Yuri Nagi, and our season premiere with the Brothers Gray, and our 2-episode season premiere with the Brothers Gray and Fire and Fury. You can find all those great episodes and more on YouTube. And to see them, it's not rocket science. It's not even pre-algebra. All you gotta do is go on YouTube and type in Ringside Society. Once you see that really good looking dark blue and light blue yin yang sound with the blue flames around it, that's how you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to all our videos because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up and you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. And with that being said, we here at Ringside Society just want to thank everybody for tuning in today. We really and truly appreciate it. We strive on being one of the best wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan could, should, and would listen to. And we're not going to stop being that. To those of you that are going to listen later on, you get a chance. Thank you very much in advance. And those y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we would just go away. Well, like myself at the Golden Corral, we're not going anywhere for a while. So with that being said, we just want to let everybody know, we here at Ringside Society, myself, Rob Bass, Kathy Knight, Albert Armageddon, and Chris Cartwright, we're very well aware that everybody and their grandparents and their parents have a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hashtag, we are not the same. Oh, one more thing. We will be doing a giveaway for WWE 2K25. So make sure y'all actually study up on your trivia as well. Annie, I don't know if you play video games, but you feel free to enter. We ship to anywhere around the world. So we'll be giving away a copy for PlayStation 5 and a copy for Xbox X, whatever latest model they have. But we'll be giving away a copy of WWE 2K25, one copy for each of those consoles. So make sure y'all study up on y'all's WWE history and trivia and whatnot. So with that being said, I'm going to say it right now. One time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, one time for the great city of London. I will be back. Make sure y'all keep the bangers and mash for me and the toad in the hole. And one time for the great work of Annie And one time for Annie herself as well. Keep on doing that great work you're doing.
Thank you.
Looking forward to it. We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society, and we'll be back tomorrow with another impressive guest on another impressive episode. But until then, we just have four favors for y'all. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and enjoy wrestling. We out. Peace.